It's breakfast time, you guys. We're starting our day with my orange honey oatmeal muffins. A nice, healthy, hearty start to our day. And I'm following that up with my mini egg cups with bacon and cheddar cheese. And to round out the meal, some roasted potatoes. So pull up a chair and join me.
Sartorial Chef here, and today it's breakfast. Now I don't know about you guys, but breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. I can have it any time of day. Morning, noon, night, late night snack, it's all good to me. So we're going to start with a lighter option, and it's going to be my honey orange oatmeal muffins. Now we're going to start with the dry ingredients. For oatmeal muffins, it's going to be about a half a cup of flour, and then a half a cup of oats. Just make sure you get a nice level scoop there. Then we need 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Now the baking powder, that's our leavener. That's what's going to help these babies rise and get nice and fluffy now. And I have got a separate container here. I like to do my wet and dry separate and then add it in later on. It kind of helps prevent from lumps and things like that. So to this, I need 1 egg. I've got my egg here. I'm just going to crack that right in there. Make sure you watch for eggshells. Nothing worse than an eggshell in your muffins. And then we'll just wipe my hands off here. To that, we are also going to add a 1/3 cup of milk. I've already got my milk out here. We just need a 3/4 cup. And that is just basic setup here for muffins. And I'm going to give this a little whisk. Get that egg beaten pretty good. Now we're going to jazz this up a little bit. I've got some vanilla here. I like to use the good vanilla. We're going to do just a couple teaspoons. To save from dirtying dishes, I just use the cap from the vanilla because it's about a teaspoon. I've got some honey here. We're going to do a couple teaspoons of that as well. And this is kind of sticky, so I like to just kind of eyeball it here. I know when you're baking you want to be a little more precise, but when it's just little things like that you're adding in, it's fine. And I've got some orange juice here. This is going to serve 2 purposes. One is going to be in the muffins itself, and then we're also going to use it later to make a glaze for the top of the muffins. So I'm going to just do 1 little cap of that. And then we're going to give this another little whisk. I also need a half cup of sugar. Actually, we're just going to do about a 1/4 cup because I've got the honey in there and I've got the vanilla. That's going to sweeten it pretty good for us as it is. Give that a nice little whisk. And then we are just going to, I'm going to slowly pour this into my dry mixture. And I'm going to stir as I pour it in. This is also going to help prevent any lumps from occurring. just want to give it a nice stir. Make sure you get the sides of the bowl. Sometimes you have flour and things that like to stick to the side of the bowl, and it's not very good. And then you want to make sure you get all the ingredients well incorporated into the batter here. Okay, and I'm going to take our little cup here from the milk to dish out our muffins. Now, I've got a little muffin tin here, and I've already pre-greased it to keep our muffins from sticking. And I'm just going to take our little cup here, and I'm going to dish some of the batter out. You only want to fill it about halfway, because these are going to rise pretty good. Fill the rest of these here. You only need to fill them about, not quite all the way. You might get a little extra in there. Okay, I have already got my oven preheated to 375. And I'm just going to stick these babies in. The recipe makes about 10 little muffins here. And they're going to cook for about 18 to 22 minutes, depending on your oven. I like to check them periodically. I do the toothpick test. We're just going to set our timer here. Okay, while the muffins are in the oven, we're going to move on to my mini egg cups. I have just got some bacon sizzling here in the skillet. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat on this, and I'm going to let it cool for just a second. We're going to add that to our mini egg cups here. Now for the egg cups, I've just got 4 eggs here. And we're going to give those a little crack. Crackety crack crack. We want to always make sure we're watching for eggshells when we use eggs. Cracking eggs like this. Nothing worse than biting into something and finding an eggshell in it. Okay, now to the egg mixture, I'm going to throw in just a little salt here. Just kind of flavor it. The bacon's kind of salty too, so that's going to give it a little flavor as well. And then some pepper, fresh cracked pepper. And I'm going to give this a little whisk. Just kind of beat up the eggs some. Now, to kind of stretch this out and to kind of make our eggs a little creamy here, I have just got some heavy cream. We're going to add about a half a cup. About like that. And we're going to give this a generous whisk. Very nice. Okay. To that, some shredded cheddar cheese. I like to use the sharp cheddar. About a cup of that. This is going to kind of help bind it together as well as give it some nice flavor. And then we're going to take our bacon out of the skillet here. Just going to drain off some of that grease. We don't want greasy bacon. And then we're going to, I'm going to slide that onto my cutting board here. We want to be careful because it is a little warm still. But I'm just going to stack the bacon here, and it is a little greasy. I'm just going to cut it into little sections here. Just kind of dice it. And not only do we want to cool the bacon down so it's easier to handle, but you also do not want to throw piping hot bacon into your egg mixture, or you're going to end up with scrambled eggs, and that's going to ruin our muffin cups. And I'm going to give it another little whisk now with the
Give that
bacon
a
and
good
the
whisk,
cheese
get all
in
the
it. Ingredients well incorporated. And I've got here a little muffin tin here, a little bigger than the other one we used. I'm going to spray that down. Just going to help keep it from sticking. They should slide right out after the oven. So I'm just going to pour my mixture here into the individual sections. Kind of like with the muffins, we're going to go about, just going to puff up real nicely in the oven. By adding the heavy cream, we should be able to get 6 muffins out of that. I'm just going to kind of distribute the last of this cheese and bacon here, so each piece has a good generous amount in there. Now what's great about these guys is they are going to cook at the same temperature as our muffins, so we can go ahead and throw them in. Now our muffins have about 12 minutes left. These guys here are going to take about 22-25 minutes. They're going to take a little longer because they're all egg. I'm just going to go ahead and slide these guys right in, and you can see that our muffins are puffing up beautifully. They just need a little more time to set. Okay, now for the last piece to our breakfast, I've got a couple potatoes here I have washed. It's always good to wash any fresh vegetables when they come in, because you don't know if they've been washed by the grocer or by the produce provider. And I'm just going to dice these in pretty medium-sized chunks. You want to make sure when you're cutting any kind of vegetables, really, that especially ones you plan on cooking, you want them to be about the same size cuts so they cook evenly. Everything cooks at the same temperature. Otherwise you'll have some potatoes that are burnt and some that are raw, and that's just no fun. So it's just me, so I'm doing a couple potatoes here. A couple small, I like, for like a hash, I like to use like a Yukon Gold, which is what these are. And I'm just going to throw a little oil into our pan here. This is just some olive oil I like to keep on the nearby. And then I've left some cheese out. That's going to go in our potatoes. Okay, now to test the oil, I'll take a piece of whatever I'm frying and I will lightly dip it in, and you hear that sizzle. That is how you know your pan is ready to go. And I've just got this on a medium heat, 4.5. Now I use an electric stove. That's kind of what the house came with, and that's what I'm spoon up with potatoes. And you want to break those up so each piece cooks individually. To these potatoes, we're going to add a little salt here and some pepper. And then we're just kind of let them do their thing. Our muffins are going in the oven right now. Pretty soon we're going to make the glaze for our muffins. And the potatoes are looking good. These are, I diced them pretty generously, so they're going to take a little while, probably a good 8 to 10 minutes, depending on how crispy you like your potatoes. I like a nice crispy potato. I like it soft on the inside, and I like a nice crisp on the outside. And I've got my cooling rack here. My muffins are going to sit there. We're going to let them cool off before we give them our glaze. And this is a really simple glaze trick. It's great for like pound cakes, cookies even. We're going to use them for the muffins today. So I'm going to get just a couple, about 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar. So we only have 10 muffins, so we don't need a whole lot here. Let's put it in the sink. And then we're going to do about a capful of orange juice here. About 2 maybe. And any kind of glaze, it's almost like a half and half ratio. You can use any kind of liquid. If you want to do like a vanilla glaze, you just add some milk and you add some vanilla extract here. I'm doing orange juice and I'm doing powdered sugar. And it doesn't have to be an exact measurement. You can kind of eyeball it. Actually, this is looking a little runny, so I'm going to throw in a couple more tablespoons. What's nice about the orange is, you know, with it being an orange juice, you feel like you're kind of being healthy. So you have these decadent muffins, but with the oatmeal in it and with the orange juice, it actually kind of feels like it's good for you. Continue to whisk this here. Get all the lumps out. And you'll see it has kind of a nice bright orange color to it from the orange juice. This is kind of the consistency you want. You want it kind of runny, but not too runny, a little thick. And we're just going to set that aside here. Potatoes, we're just going to kind of, I like to shake the pan a little bit, and we're going to kind of stir these some. And they're kind of sizzling good, so I'm going to turn them down a little bit. And ladies and gentlemen, our muffins are ready to come out. They smell delicious. I wish you had smell-o-vision at home. They smell absolutely gorgeous. And we're just going to set them here for a minute and let them do their thing. Our eggs are going nicely. They're going to take a little more time here. I'm going to set the timer here for another 6 minutes, I think, and we'll check on them here. Potatoes are looking good. They are just about done. You can always tell with the potato, I mean, they get nice and crispy, yeah, but you can always take a fork and kind of poke at it. If your fork slides right through easily, then you know your potatoes are nice and tender. And not just for frying potatoes, but I mean if you're boiling potatoes for like mashed potatoes or you're making potato salad, anything potato related, except for, you know, like mashed potatoes. Any kind of potato that you can stick your fork in there. And these guys are not quite there yet. They just need a little longer. I'm going to turn some of these over. We want to let them get nice and crispy on all sides. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Our muffins are beautiful. We're just going to let them sit for a minute. Our eggs are going nicely. And then it'll be time to plate up. These muffins look amazing. And I have given them just a little time to cool. And you should be able to, any kind of knife, spoon, fork, something like that. I sprayed these pretty good. We're just going to go around the sides here so we can get them, they should pop right out of this. I've got a little plate here. I'm just going to plate these guys up. And they're just going to slide right out. And these are nice little breakfast treats. They're healthier for you than a lot of those kind of toaster doodads and whatnot. What's good about these is like they're ready to go, so you can grab them in the morning, pop one in. You can eat it as is. You can stick it in the microwave for a few seconds just to warm them up. Good amount of glaze here, so I'm just going to kind of ladle that over the top, kind of spread it out. And you can use this glaze for anything. It's great for like pound cakes or even like a regular kind of cake, French toast even, or like waffles, something like that. Anything kind of sweet, cookies. If you just add a little cornstarch to this, you've got royal icing. You can ice cookies with it. You can ice anything really. Or you can just kind of leave it as the glaze. We'll just get a little more on there. And those are just looking really good. I can't wait, guys. I'm going to have to go ahead and pop one of these babies in my mouth. Mmm. Mmm. So good. Mmm. They're moist in the middle, very soft, very airy. The outside has a nice crust to it. Mmm. I'm getting the orange front and center. Some sweetness from the vanilla and sugar. The oatmeal kind of gives a little bit of a texture. They're not too dense or too chewy, they're just right. Oh goodness, look at that. Alright, I've got my toothpick here, guys. We're gonna see what's going on here. And it is clean, so we are good to go. These are gonna come on out. And I'm going to let them cool for a little bit as well. Go ahead and turn our oven off here. Got a plate out here. I'm just gonna dig one of these guys out of the pan here. They should slide right out. We'll go ahead and get two. Very nice. And then just a little bit of our potatoes. Those are looking really good. They've got a nice color to them. I like mine kind of crispy, a little crispy on one side and soft in the middle. And breakfast is served. Right, I've got left a little cheese out here. I like some cheese on my potatoes. I'm gonna sprinkle just a little on there. And let's dig in. First, a little bite of the egg cup. And this is so good, you guys. It's nice and fluffy. Mmm. Mmm. A little hot still, but you get a nice smokiness and saltiness from the bacon. The egg, you can see, has a nice crust on the side from the pan, but the inside is just so delicate and fluffy and light. The cheese, you can really taste the sharp cheddar in here. Everything just goes together nicely. A little bite here of the potatoes. Mmm. Very nice. You hear that crunch? That's what you want. Nice crispy potato. Soft in the middle. Delicious. Once again, I am the Sartorial Chef. I want to thank you guys for joining me for breakfast. Until next time.